Hey, let's talk about financing for your next laundromat project. Whether you're purchasing a laundromat, building a new store, or buying laundry equipment, Eastern Funding offers financing solutions to help you on your laundromat journey. Eastern Funding has been financing laundromats since 1997, and they have helped thousands of laundromat owners with financing. They're specialists in the laundry space, and Eastern Funding's combination of personalized service, expertise, and customized financing solutions make them the premier lenders in the industry. Learn more at easternfunding.com/laundry.
Matt, my backup plan, see this house behind me? I sell it, then I move into the laundromat. That's the backup plan. That's where I'm at. So if this doesn't go, I sell the house, I cash in, and I live in my laundromat. I mean, you really have to be ready to be all in.
Welcome to Full Cycle.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Full Cycle. I'm your host, Matt DeWolf, and on this episode, we're going to go a little bit of a different direction. So we've been talking with operators in this space, and we've been getting their stories and their backstories, and it's been very nice and very positive, and we've heard all about the success that they've had along the way. Today, we are going to experiment with a little bit of a as it happens story for you. We've got Tim Johnson from Operation Laundry in Holland, Michigan. Tim's laundry is not open yet. And so we're going to follow that story via this podcast and via our website and just kind of give you what it's really like and what's really happening and what we haven't really talked about in previous episodes of this show. So without further ado, Tim, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Matt. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate what CLA is doing for the community.
Well, I'm excited because we are going to talk about some stuff that, one, you can't make up. Like, you just can't make this stuff up. And two, I think it's going to be really important for folks who are trying to get into this industry like you were, only mere months ago at this point, but to know what they're really walking into and to be prepared and to know that it's not just going to like make them money instantly. They got to put in the work and it's a hard job and it's not all fun and games.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, Matt. It's been a great journey, gotten a lot of help, and a lot of people have been mentors to provide information and direction, but I'm at it every day, all day, never stopping, thinking about it 7 days a week.
Well, let's start back at the beginning, shall we? So, everybody always wants to know, like, how in the world did you end up in laundry? How did this even get on the radar?
Sure.
What were you doing before?
Yeah, I'm 46 years old. My background is in STEM and cyber. I served as an Air Force officer, graduating the Air Force Academy, later worked in intelligence-related and technical roles. Most of my career has been very high pressure, analytical, structured. Last few years, though, as I had sold my company in cybersecurity and cloud and started to work as a W-2, if you will, for corporate America, it really started to make me rethink everything, professionally and personally. Went through a divorce, went through career instability, layoffs, period where I had to ask myself, like, what am I actually building? What's tangible? What is lasting of all this work I've done? So I was researching, I met with my therapist. We were talking about all the great things I'd done for the country. We said, what have you done for your community? What could you do to really give back? And that really stuck with me. And we thought about it. We talked about it quite a bit. And then in August, I heard about the Clean Show. I had heard there was this thing from the CLA and the laundromats. And what is that? Can you make money? Is it real? So I just decided I'll take a shot. I bought an airplane ticket, bought a ticket to the Clean Show. I didn't know anyone there. I didn't know anything about laundry, barely knew how to spell it. And I just got on the plane and went down and started making a ton of friends and learned a ton about the industry, continued to learn, reached out to others in the community. People were very helpful. CLA members were helpful. And everything just kind of came together, and I decided that's the route I want to try and go. I thought Operation Laundry would be a great spot to start based on my background with what I've been through. And I saw that it was possible, having met other owners and learning about the industry. So I was very excited to do this.
What was the moment for you, Tim? I think it's really interesting as you talk about what am I building? What am I building? What am I giving back? What am I doing? And I think that we're at that point in our lives where we start to think about those things and what are we going to leave behind and how are we going to be remembered and all those really like deep things. But for you, what was the moment where you're like, yeah, laundry might work. Like that is really might be my thing.
Yeah, I think it was when I was at the Clean Show and I met other operators and I was able to see the reality of the equipment, the costs, the setups, the people that were just normal, good people. And I've talked about, and when I've explored the laundry industry, my past careers, we had a lot of what I call frenemies. And frenemies are people that are going to work with you on projects, but really they're competing against you. And you saw that a lot in consulting, in the defense industry, and you would bid on contracts together, but at the same time, you're competing against each other. In the laundry industry, the number one laundry person in Kansas City, Chicago, Tampa, Florida, they could care less about Holland, Michigan. They're not moving to Holland, Michigan, and they want to help. It's a community that wants to help each other, and that was a big exciting part of the laundry industry. So it really started to feel real, and I saw, based on my own research in Holland, there was a need for what we would call a destination laundromat. I think the laundromats that exist in Holland are what you might envision from the past of how laundromats were designed. And I felt like no matter your economic background or situation, we all like good things. We all like nice things. And I felt like there was a desire and a need for a destination laundromat in Holland.
Yeah, well, and we're seeing as this industry evolves that almost is becoming a requirement. Like if you're gonna get into this space, you got to build something that is got a brand to it. It looks really nice. It is clean all the time, and it feels very modern. Like it's almost like it's the very bottom of the barrel. You have to do these things or else you're never gonna make it. Was that like exciting for you? That you knew like, oh my gosh, I can't just like buy a piece of property and put up a building and put in some machines and go. I got to like build a thing. Like it's got to be a thing.
Right. It was exciting because based on my intelligence background, I'm suspicious by nature, trust but verify. And so there's a lot out there on the TikToks and the YouTubes about, I just bought something and I pick up quarters. It's passive income. I was very suspicious of these claims. And so I got excited about building something. I wanted to build something I could pass on to my kids and have a legacy for the community, something that was a staple that others look to say, yeah, that's strength. That's something we want in our community. We want to operate out of. So that does excite me to make something better and bigger than when I found it. That's something I write for a legacy.
Well, you're in this space, right, where the industry is kind of prime for what you're trying to do. And you found a geographic location where nobody's really playing in that space yet. So you're in a good spot. But talk us through kind of how you didn't have land when you started. You didn't have any of the things. Like talk us through that whole journey.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. It was a bit intense and a bit risky. So I had no land, no equipment, no prior experience, no relationships. Nothing. Again,
you might as well do it. Yeah, you might as well do it.
Yeah, just why not? What do I have to lose except all my money and time? Let's go. So I had zero money too. Yeah, I went to the Clean Show, learned everything I could. Now, it was essential that I made these relationships at the Clean Show. I don't have time to describe all the amazing relationships I made. But from there, having met with all the distributors, Electrolux, Laundry, and looking at their machines, meeting the CEO from the United States, sitting down for 4 hours to tell them about who I am, what I'm about, meeting with financing companies that were at the Clean Show for SBA loans, trying to understand, okay, how could I actually pay for this thing? And then another thing I did was, again, a ton of YouTube research and looked at how other operators that were successful utilized different ways to get funding. From all of those meetings, all of those things, I flew back to Holland, researched ROBS, rollover for business startups. That uses your 401k to be able to start the laundromat. And I had a career. I had been successful in life before I'd gotten older and had layoffs. So I used my ROBS, cashed everything I had in, everything I had. I rolled over through, serious risk. I was unemployed, completely unemployed. I was unemployed this entire time, no health insurance. Cashed it all in and went with that to start to get the funding. Now, I still didn't have a location and I didn't have any equipment. I had a distributor that was willing to want to work with me. But then someone from the Clean Show called me, a friend, and they said, hey, there's a place going out of business on the east side of Michigan near Detroit. They're a a franchisee that had only been around about 18 months. So all their equipment was brand new Electrolux equipment, and it was premier stuff. Everything in it was laid out very well. We didn't know their names. We just knew an address. I tracked down the owners. I called them, found out their names, tracked them down, continued to call them. They were in process of selling everything in the laundromat. I grabbed them in the middle of that sale. I told them who I was, and I negotiated that I'd come and pick up everything for a flat price. They agreed, amazingly. I bought pennies on the dollar, saved myself over $1 million, and bought 43 dryers, pockets, and 42 washers, 18 months old, which is basically brand new in the industry. And then I went over with my neighbor. I knocked on my neighbor's door next door, and I said, "Hey, are you busy?" He said, "No." "Would you get in a semi with me? We're going to rent like box trucks and drive over and move equipment." He said, "Let's do it." So at 5 in the morning on a Monday, we started driving 3 hours to Detroit in separate box trucks, loaded them, drove them back, unloaded them into my garage, and unloaded them into my shed. Now, it's winter in Michigan. Washers will freeze. So we had to have a heated garage. And then the dryers we put into a storage unit. That was with trailers, trucks, box trucks, everything. We moved it all. Chairs, table, folding table, TVs, trash cans, 3 vending machines, everything they had, we took it all. And the price was well over $1 million in savings. Now, I had no location. I bought it all with Rob's. No location, and it's sitting in my garage. That's where we were at that moment.
When was it? So when was this? Like how? So you went to clean. Oh my gosh. So okay. So yeah. So you're going right into heavy snow season with all of this equipment just sitting in storage in your garage.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Proceed. Tell us more.
Yeah. The washers, yeah, they've got to be heated. I have no more parking. Everything that was in my garage goes out in the driveway with snow, right? Snow's coming, and it snows. It's Michigan. We get lake effect snow. Google it if you don't want to know what lake effect snow is. So we start getting all that. I'm looking for property. I'm banging on a lot of doors. I'm all over the place all the time. Again, 7 days a week. I've got a realtor. We're doing everything we can. We find a location on the south side of Holland next to a Dollar General, a Mexican grocery store, a Goodwill, a Spanish-speaking church, and an O'Reilly Auto Parts with great parking. Now, it's for lease, and it used to be a restaurant, so it's got 600 amp hour, 6-inch water, 4-inch water drain, and plenty of gas, huge amount of gas to run all the ovens. Now, it's not been touched for 3 years, so there's mold, rust. Yeah, everything's in there. There's a reason it isn't leased. Okay, it's got everything you're not looking for. And so I went and I met. It was a private equity group. I met with the owners of the private equity group because it was for lease. They took the time to listen to my story. I told them who I was, what I was about, what I'm trying to do. They were willing to sell me the building on a land contract, so seller financing, which was huge because I didn't have any money really. I didn't have an SBO. It was all in with Rob's.
Yeah, you already bought all your equipment and had it in your garage.
Yes. So then it was 5,000 square feet in this prime location, but it needed to be demoed. It had all the restaurant equipment, 3 walk-in freezers, three walk-in fridges, everything, mold. The steel beams had all rusted inside the drywall. The commercial, yeah, it was bad.
Oh,
my neighbor, same neighbor, I knocked on his door. I said, "Hey, Rob, do you want to demo a 5,000 square foot commercial space with wheelbarrow and a buckets?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm up for it." We couldn't use the Bobcat because we couldn't get it in to the size of the doors. Plus, there's a Dollar General and Mexican grocery store. You don't
on either side, yeah.
So we demoed it over 50 days. 22 tons of material gone. Floors, everything, tile floors, cement floors, everything gone. During that time, I was looking for an architect and a builder. So I was interviewing all of them. We found an architect, put a design together with my distributor from Electrolux. Electrolux agreed for the first time in the history of their company because of the relationships I had built to fund my build out, even though I bought no equipment from them. They used my used equipment that I bought from the place that went out of business as leverage, to finance against. So I could finance the build out through them, which was a great blessing. They agreed to that, and we proceeded. I found a builder, put it out for bid. We chose a winner, and during that whole time, you're interviewing builders, you're on site, you're talking through with the architect. There's a lot of moving parts after demo. I will tell your listeners, demo doing yourself is a huge help because there's so much behind the walls. There's so much behind the floor. You only find that out once you demo. And so we were able to find all those things, find all the way to put a steel beam in. The ceiling was falling in. You only know that once you demo. You wouldn't have been able to see a ceiling there. And so we proceeded, signed a contract for the builder. The builder started. And as we continued to build out, this is a fun story. They were digging all the trenches for all the piping, water, electric. We bought our bulkheads from Highmark. Like everything's happening. They found a secret tunnel, and I swear to you, it's very like cartel tunnel out of a prison underneath cement cinder block walls and floor, 3 foot by 3 foot, 3 foot high, 3 foot wide. You could funnel anything you really wanted or smuggle anything you want. Runs under the entire strip mall. No one knew it was there. So it goes under.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. There's a tunnel that runs under the property, like it's like a really nice crawl space to smuggle things. How far? Like what are we talking about? Like
hundreds of feet. It goes from building to building to building.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
It used to be a grocery store, not Walmart, but like a Walmart type grocery called Family Fare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it used to be a huge grocery store. I don't know if that was part of it. They used it for something.
Oh, maybe that's how they moved stuff from point A to point B without having to be on the floor or something. Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm hopeful that is why it's him, and not because there's a giant cartel issue in Holland, Michigan. I hope that's the reason. Yeah,
I do too. They don't
otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, your property, while it looked good initially, is no longer worth it.
I agree. But the cool thing is you can go to the Dollar General, get some snacks in the middle of the night, tunnel right over.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. So what do you have to do with what does the city say about what you have to do with that tunnel?
Right. So I'm going to get dump trucks of sand delivered. Now, there's different rules for delivering sand in the winter. Most people haven't lived in winter environments because of the weight on the roads. So we have to get half trucks full, dump those, wheelbarrow. Me and my neighbor again are going to wheelbarrow and shovel sand to fill that whole entire cavity. And then we'll put the cement back on when we finish the floor.
Tim, I feel like you need to put a plaque up in the laundromat that is your neighbor's name.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like he or maybe even a statue, maybe a full statue of it. Like, because he is your guy, man. He is helping you out.
We call him the best neighbor in America, right? Like there's no other term. He's fantastic. His name's Rob.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that there's any competition. No. I live in a great neighborhood. I could maybe get a neighbor to do like one of those things, but certainly not all of them. Not all of them.
And he loves it. And he's better than, the vast majority of the people you would hire to do it. He ran his own company. He's been there, done it. He's one of those guys that just can do a lot of things. It's a great blessing.
That's crazy. Well, okay. So my other question for you is, you've convinced on this journey, you've been able to convince a lot of people to do things that are a little bit kind of crazy. Like, why would they ever do that? Like, why is your neighbor helping you do all of these things? Why are they willing to finance this for you based on used equipment? Why am I selling you this building when I was trying to lease it? There's all these things that are lining up, and you're just like, hey, I'm Tim. You should just do it. Like, what do you think the key is to like making this thing work?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I think it's faith and being humble. And telling them who you are, really like being genuine. When people meet me, they sense that I don't have an ulterior motive. I don't have an agenda. They listen to my background and what I've done within the country and been a part of and what I care about for the community and what this means to me in my heart. And they want to be part of that. People want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And this is bigger than me. This is bigger than each of us individually. It's our community. And we see a need for this. And this is, people in West Michigan genuinely care about that. We really want to give back, and almost all people do. And it's something to feel good about and be a part of, because they all know I can't do this alone. I'll never be able to do it alone. And I need that type of help.
Well, and talk about now that you're to the point where you have to fill your tunnel, people obviously are starting to notice that this thing is coming. Like, this will be a laundromat in the next several months. Talk about kind of what kind of response you're getting, and how are people reacting?
Yeah, I've been out there, and I went out on Facebook, listening to the other members from the CLA talk about getting out in the social media and campaigns and trying to get out there to spread the word. I joined a local Facebook group for Holland, and I made one post telling them what was coming and what we're about and trying to get their feedback. And this was a week or two ago. Just all I have is signage. The response from the community has been overwhelming in a positive. They've been providing ideas, what they like and they don't like, what they need in the community, how they can support it, what best works for them, why they want to bring their business. In addition, other businesses have reached out to do cooperation and business agreements where we both can collaborate and benefit. A wash cleaner, which is a wet cleaner, it's different than dry cleaning. Wet cleaning has decided to create a business relationship with me where they can drop off things at my store. They'll pick it up. They'll do the cleaning on the north side and bring it back. Also, wash and fold. They're going to push wash and fold to my business, which is great for me, and I'll push wet cleaning to their business. It's just been that type of relationship. There's a community group called a Community Action House that services over 10,000 low-income individuals in the community with food and clothing and different things. They've created a relationship with us to do laundry for them. We give a 10% off amount to their members. They screen all their members for financial need. So they'll come in with their cards. We'll be able to do their laundry at a discount. That type of community environment has been very beneficial to build business relationships that help each other. And that's helped me give kind of the strength to keep moving in this, right? It gives me momentum. Okay, hey, there's a need for this. People want to be part of this.
Yeah, that's very different than if you were getting to this point and you've spent all this money and you've taken all this risk and then there's crickets, right? Like, that's a much more uncomfortable situation to be sitting in.
Yes.
But yeah, you're getting dynamic kind of feedback that's like, okay, maybe this is going to work. Maybe this is going to work.
Right.
Do you think without that, would we still be here? Like, what if it was crickets?
Nobody was saying sell your ROBs, and this is a good idea to buy used equipment from Detroit and move it in your garage. Nobody said that was a good idea. In fact, most of the people that saw the equipment asked me what the heck I am doing. Like, what is wrong with you? And they don't have a location? Like, what are you thinking? And a lot of people can't see vision. They can't see what a destination laundromat's going to look like, what that's going to feel like. They envision the old style laundromat. As you said, this is the new baseline. They're envisioning the old laundromats, and they can't wrap their head around that there's a destination they might want to go to. We're also looking at doing yoga in the laundromat. So bring your clothes in, put them in the washers. We switch them to the dryers while you're doing yoga. You walk out of yoga, all your clothes are clean, dried, and you're able to do yoga. I mean, that's a pretty good community environment.
Yeah. That's building a space. It's another space for people outside of the home, right? Like, outside of home and school and work and church. Well, here's a laundromat.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
I mean,
and we're next to it.
Piece of it.
I mean, it's
exactly. Yeah.
Spot. Yeah.
Well, talk me through kind of, okay, you're almost there, right? Like, you're a couple months away. I think you're trying to open in May. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. What's left? Like, what are you working on now?
Yeah, every day I'm working on something. So coordinating with the builder and subcontractors. Yes, I have a general contractor, but there's always something once a day that comes up from a question. When you find a tunnel, if you can imagine finding a tunnel under your building, there's other things that pop up. We had to put in a reinforced beam, steel beam across the roof, across the ceiling. There's just constant coordination. I'm working with a designer for signage. And a lot of these people are family friends. They're friends of mine that I built relationships. I think a key word, you ask, why do you keep going? Relationships and faith in God. Those things continue to push me and propel me forward. Others that believe in me and see what I see. So I'm using a designer that I know personally, a painter that I know personally, and then of course my neighbor Rob. All these people are helping push me along to be part of the team. And that's what I work on every day, is getting ready to execute, hiring. I have no openings, and people apply to positions that don't exist every day. I have people wanting to work at Operation Laundry every day. I've never put an opening. So I have staff already ready to go. I ordered clothing, branding, signage, everything is getting designed. We want to have an experience that's, very unique. And like you said, a destination community space that we can all come together and be safe and get our laundry done and do other things, homework, and get groceries done from Dollar General or the Mexican grocery store, or go shopping at Goodwill, pick up clothes there, wash them at my laundromat. This is a community space we're trying to build. So every day I'm working on things to make it smoother, creating relationships, looking for commercial accounts. Every day I'm doing something.
So you're not there yet, so that this moment could still come, but there had to be a moment where you were like, have I lost my mind?
Oh, yeah.
What, give me just one example of a time when you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Oh, there's a lot of times. They hit a water line that was not buried correctly, and the entire business flooded at 2 to 3 inches of water. That was real. And that was not the builder's fault, because it was in the wrong spot. It never was buried correctly. So that was really questioning. As you spend money, I spend money like it's water every day. It's fascinating, buying a security system, cameras, access points, dealing with Comcast, getting the lines, the fiber put in. You are spending money constantly. 5,000 here, 10,000 there, 20,000 here. When I paid the check for bulkheads to Highmark, I really thought I'd lost my mind. I'm over $70,000 for pieces of equipment for a laundromat that I think's gonna get built, right? Because you have to order them ahead of time because they're custom built. The amount of money being spent and the amount of years, I think a lot of people forget when you spend that money. I worked 20 years to accumulate all that money and be ready to execute, to spend it this way when something we have no idea is going to work. Those were real challenges, very difficult situations.
Yeah, dude, that's the terrifying piece. And that's what, I mean, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. And so I think folks who are thinking about getting into this space, they gotta reality check a little bit and say, hey, am I ready for everything to go away if it doesn't work?
Matt, my backup plan, see this house behind me? I sell it and I move into the laundromat. That's the backup plan. That's where I'm at. So if this doesn't go, I sell the house, I cash in, and I live in my laundromat. I mean, you really have to be ready to be all in. I've been unemployed during all of this, applying to jobs, here and there, but there's no income coming in. Money's just going out.
Yeah. Everything is out. Yeah. Well, which is interesting because as a guy with a military background, I would think that you would be not very okay with all of that, all of that outflow and no inflow. Like it
Correct.
just the math is not mathing in that scenario, and things don't seem very logical. So, how did you square that?
Faith.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me that there's, this is something I want to have a legacy for and that my community needs. I really believe that. And you can be wrong, right? I can be wrong.
Yeah.
I can misplace faith, but all the things and all the people coming together, it just seems like it's destiny for me. And I really believe in my heart that this is what's God's wants for me.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I'm not gonna lie, Tim. It does feel like this was always kind of meant to be, and whatever, all of your life, whether you knew it or not, was leading up to this moment.
Because I run a successful company. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of parts of this story that are easier, right? Nothing's ever easier. smoother is probably a better word, smoother, because I had run a company for 10 years before I sold it. My accountant was solid. It took me, when I first company, it took me years to find a solid accountant. I have a solid accountant now. Took me years to understand all the different moving parts of running a company and the tax benefits and when to pay your taxes and all the things that go with that. That is smoother. And, my education from HBS was very helpful in marketing and branding and having these relationships. I can't stress the relationships enough. Without those relationships, there's a million different spots that I could point to where this breaks down.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. Well, the plan for this is that we're going to check in with you periodically. And so I think I want to try to get back with you in a couple of months just to see if you've lost your mind yet.
Yeah.
And, and then I'd love to catch up, post opening to see how that's going. So we're going to make this kind of a series and folks can kind of catch it anywhere. But before I let you kind of off the hook for this particular episode, I am curious. I always like to ask people for one piece of advice, right? One very tangible thing. Think about and share with us what's one thing that we could be doing today that's going to make us better tomorrow. And this can be laundry related, business related, life related, just one thing that we could do today that's going to make us better tomorrow.
I would definitely say walk or exercise in some physical manner every day. Every day. You don't need equipment. You don't need a gym. You can walk outside. You can walk on a treadmill. You can do push-ups. You can do sit-ups. You can do a lot of things. I would highly recommend that you're not too busy. It's not that hard to be able to have some activity for your body and your mind and your soul. It will benefit you more than tenfold of the time it took you.
Yeah, that's a really good one because it does give you, not only does it give you just the actual health benefit of movement and all of those things, but mental clarity is such a big piece of that, and being able to step away from the normal routine and just be with yourself and in your thoughts and in those moments to kind of let things marinate and come out how they're supposed to. I love that. I love that advice. Now, Tim, not all of us have the opportunity to fill, tunnels with sand and, demo 5,000 square foot properties as our exercise. So we might have to do a little differently, but right. You got to be feeling pretty good. You got to be getting swole from all the activity.
Yeah, I mean, I could always use to lose a little weight. I think we all could. Yeah. I stress eat like the best of us. But yeah, it feels my brain and my body, the way I function, and I know others, physical activity makes me a better person, a better business leader, a better everything, because it helps with stress, and the health benefits outweigh any time that's lost doing that.
Love it. Love it. Hey, Tim, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us, and thanks for letting us kind of ride along on this journey.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for your time, Matt. Really grateful for the opportunity and excited to help all of those that are trying to do it.
Awesome. Friends, wherever you are watching or listening to this episode, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. But most importantly, thank you for giving us a turn.